Freedom of speech is the heart of democracy. It empowers citizens, promotes transparency, and allows criticism of government actions. But how free is speech in Malaysia? This video explores how Malaysia's federal constitution protects freedom of speech and the limits that shape its practice in our society.
In Malaysia, freedom of speech is protected under Article 10(1)(a) of the Federal Constitution. This article explicitly states every citizen has the right to freedom of speech and expression. However, this freedom isn't absolute. Article 10(2) grants Parliament the power to limit speech on grounds such as national security, public order, morality, and international relations. Despite constitutional guarantees, Malaysian law places significant limits on freedom of speech. The Sedition Act 1948 criminalizes speech that may incite hatred against the government, royalty, or racial groups. The Communications and Multimedia Act 1998 restricts online content considered offensive or false. The Printing Presses and Publications Act 1984 allows government control over print media through licensing requirements. The Official Secrets Act 1972 restricts sharing classified government information, limiting investigative journalism. Several landmark cases illustrate how Malaysian courts interpret freedom of speech. In PP v. Azmi Shahram, 2015, law professor Azmi Shahram faced sedition charges for expressing legal opinions on a political crisis. The federal court upheld the validity of the Sedition Act, reinforcing restrictions on political criticism. Another significant case was Malaysia Kini, 2021, where an online news portal was held responsible for reader comments criticizing the judiciary, raising concerns about online freedom and media accountability. Today, freedom of speech in Malaysia faces new challenges. Online speech has come under increasing scrutiny. The Communications and Multimedia Act has frequently been used against social media users criticizing the government. Fake news laws, although intended to combat misinformation, have sometimes been exploited to silence dissent. Activists and politicians often face legal consequences, creating a climate of self-censorship among journalists and citizens. To enhance freedom of speech in Malaysia, experts and human rights advocates recommend several key reforms. 1. Amend or repeal overly broad provisions of the Sedition Act to protect legitimate political discourse. 2. Revise the Communications and Multimedia Act to clearly define offenses and prevent misuse against legitimate criticism. 3. Strengthen judicial independence, ensuring courts uphold free speech consistent with international human rights standards. 4. Promote media independence by revising licensing laws, thereby fostering a healthier democratic environment. Protecting freedom of speech in Malaysia requires balancing public security and democratic rights. Legal reforms, public awareness, and institutional improvements are crucial steps toward a more open, accountable, and vibrant society.